everybody. Welcome to the Command Center, Sunday
Back once
19th,
again.
July 2020. It's the Command Center. Let your man.
Back again, back again. Uh,
So,
so, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
so Portland's gotten weird. The moms have came out, and they were out last night. And I think they got gassed. I haven't seen a full vid. I don't know if some of them left or if it was all of them. I've seen some of the vid. Uh, but I did see they were out, and again, I think almost everybody in yellow, I think, are like elderly or moms, from what I've seen. The
Oh, is that
yellows,
what that color is?
yeah,
Okay.
that's why you're seeing a lot of yellow, is that's some solidarity and shit. Um, as we've said in prophecy, I'm telling you, I think violence is easy, peace is hard. I think I don't know. It's just it's powerful to see all these people show up, different diverse people over time.
No, I'm not down you. It definitely is a powerful statement, to have like the will to fucking stand there and get shit on, day after day, and not give in to whatever anger or hatred you're feeling. Because I definitely feel like I would if I was there.
But they even got some balloons just chilling.
Uh,
It's just wow. I don't
I
know.
wish
It's just
I wish this kind of multicast stream had up some more around the country. But just to my point, it's very obvious that Portland is kind of like the hot spot right now, where the police are just consistently, they're not backing down. They are like, no, we want to keep brutalizing people. We don't want to change. And
yeah.
they show their true colors and everything. And you see that does nothing for the cops, but it only brings more people to the rebels' cause, so to speak, because it gets to a certain point where you can't deny it. You can't be like, oh, the the cops only arrest them because they said they were having a protest here, but then they started moving this other area, so the cops started arresting people. That's one argument I saw. And then my rebuttal to that was, I didn't know you needed a permit or to tell the cops anything about where you're protesting. You protest where the fuck you want. That's kind of the point. You know. So it just shows that the more they resist the positive change that Americans want to see, the more they dig their own grave, so to speak.
Um, just a couple things on this since been out here killing this shit. Um, you got you got mainstream news had a slight blip of this for two reasons. One, Trump talked about this, the irony, um, and then also that might have also sparked this to keep going and get energized again. And it might kind of be in a second life right now. Well, especially since we're getting different people out now.
Yeah.
I told you the the protests are going to change. They're a life form of their own, and it is completely played out that way. And it is completely different in Portland with the last two nights now, especially right now. This is just insane. Uh, it's very very interesting.
Um.
All right, I'm about to do the recap then. Let me know
Oh
if
yeah. Go
anything
go ahead.
happens.
Go ahead. We'll do. We'll do.
Let me know if you see any doggos or VMAS or any shit that worth a damn.
All right.
So I've been keeping an eye on like I do every day, even if I don't do a vid on it. I keep an eye on it pretty as much as possible, and I get on Twitter and it's all over my Twitter feed. Uh, so you got a resistance movement. I wonder what that means, Bruce. Huh? Shout out
Well,
to hopefully the Cuzzos.
hopefully, hopefully not some Gestapo in disguise.
Those are QAnon. You got Denver. That's where the non-resistance movement is. That's dope. You see the sheriff showing up in Louisville earlier today.
Hmm.
Maybe that's the police station. That's why they're there. Oh, there's a pro police state protest also going on there. Uh, hang
That's
on, save it.
hilarious.
You got
That's
Kirk. Yeah,
hilarious.
no, hang on. I know that's a good point. You got uh, fucking Kirkland, Washington had something going on earlier. Seattle, their usual thing. But yeah, one side of the street is the police state cronies, and on the other side is people opposed to the police state. Crazy. I can't believe you would defend the police after what happened. It
Dude,
proves
I
that they
mean,
don't care.
this is yeah. It proves they don't care, or how I put it is like they're bottoms, little dick energy. You know, they like it. You know, they like it when they like, or they're just psychopaths, and they know that the feds won't come after them. So, but it gives them uh, it gives they find peace in knowing that someone out there is getting their shit kicked in a 4v1 for shit that's not justified. You know, for rolling through a stop sign when no one's at the intersection type shit.
Shout out.
uh,
Shout out.
because one thing that I've I've been like trying to find information and all this different through history, you know, like, because this is the second time we've gone through this in this country. At least on this scale, and I'm talking when I say that I mean like the civil rights movement. Uh, because essentially what it is, it's gone from civil rights to human rights.
What's
Like,
the
hey, can y'all
continue?
just
Something
not
like I
kill?
said, that
Yeah,
one guy
it's a
said,
continuation.
"This isn't the
Yeah,
new civil
exactly.
rights movement; it's a
Yeah, it's a
continuation."
continuation.
That's why I said strategically to hop on the back of this movement is so for for populism. Sorry, let me even phrase it that way. That's what MLK was doing. And that's what
Mm.
JFK was doing. That's what they were trying to do. That's what the Black Panthers were trying to do.
Oh, free clothing
They're trying to
in
use
Portland. They're giving
populism
out free clothes.
to defeat fascism.
So yeah, one thing that I stumbled up upon is lynchings, because I talked to my dad and how he said he's arming himself wherever he goes now, wherever him and his family go, because he doesn't want someone to lynch him and his family. He warned me. He's like, hey, be careful out there, arm yourself. Don't let
Get
these
your
dudes catch you
swords.
slipping. Yeah, walk around with my swords and my bat, type shit. Always have the two dogs with me every time I walk out the building.
Doggo squad.
And one thing that I noticed, or that I learned, that I sort of like relearned. It's one of those things that I kind of knew, but I had to kind of like relearn it and look and study it more. Is that lynchings were this? They weren't something done. Like, I always thought they're like, oh, they snatched this dude, drug him into the woods, and and 20 people kind of did this to that person. They brutally, or to some abandoned warehouse, and they brutally tortured,
That's what
murdered, did all this
they did
shit, and
that
hung him
too.
up. Yeah, but a
Especially
lot
bro.
of these, yeah, a lot of these lynchings were public. Like, they would take pictures
Oh
and
yeah.
sell the photos of the body and everything, and they had the help of the feds with them doing this. That's the only how you're gonna get away with this. Of course, you're gonna have to have the cops being like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like,
Did you listen to
it,
that podcast?
which one I might have.
The Behind the
I listened to.
Bastards.
Oh no, not that
The
one. I
against.
might listen to part of it. I might listen to part of it actually.
That's this is it. All talks about all this and more.
Yeah, I might
Um,
have listened to part of it like in an isolated event.
yeah, you gotta
Because I
listen to
remember
it. It's real good shit. He
hearing
exposes
slash
it.
reading about this one story where these group of white kids were throwing rocks at this adult black lady, and the adult black lady stopped them and like kind of chastised them, like, hey, you shouldn't do this to me, blah blah. You shouldn't do this to anyone. Like, don't throw rocks at them. Like, she was like, she like wagged her finger type deal, like, hey, don't do that. These kids went back to their parents, told them that, oh, this black lady was talking to me, and then they fucking killed her. You know, and when with the help of the cops. So whenever I see these motherfuckers try and protect and be like, oh, these cops aren't bad, they're just misunderstood. I'm like, bro, you're defending the new KKK. You know, you are pro lynching. The shit I said yesterday when we were gaming. You know, these are the pro slavery
No good
guys.
cops, racist system. Zach was right.
You know, like these are the guy. Like, and I truly think if you, you know, I'm against trying to open up a dialogue with dumbasses. But I truly think the only way you get them to realize how dumb they are is to be like, oh, like you're the type of dude who will buy a photo of someone who just got lynched because you think it's cool.
Something
You
different.
know,
Yo, you see those peace
like
signs, by the way? You love to see it.
yeah,
I love seeing peace signs. I hate seeing this guy with a pro police state sign. Makes me sad.
I saw this. My wife was just trying to show me a video of this dad is at the park with his son, and they're both black, and this little white girl
It's the worst
is
color to
trying
be.
to fight the son.
It's America.
She's like trying to punch and kick him. The black dad is putting himself in between this little girl and his son, being like, "Hey, don't attack my son." And I like stop attacking him, and the son's trying to defend himself. Like he's putting like his arms, hands, feet up. You know, he's trying to like protect himself. The little girl's mom comes over and fucking kicks the shit out of the son. The dad has more self control than I had, and he, you know, he stays peaceful. He's like, hey, you know, like come on, son. You know, he diffused the situation. He gets his son out of there. Me being from, you know, being from where I am, experiencing the shit I have, you know, I view children as sacred. You know, that's just how I view it. You know, I think my son is a gift to the world, and that no harm should come to him. So if some grown ass woman kicks my beautiful baby boy, she's catching these hands. And, you know, they are rated E for everybody. Ain't no one stopping me.
Dang,
I've
that's a
always been in the
easy
you know,
E, or was that a hard E? You got like some cartoon violence or something?
I guess you gonna hear like you know, like you know in the cart in Tom and Jerry when one of the when one of them is getting their ass beat, the camera pans away, but like, you see like the whole stars and you hear all the
The
noise. That's how
cloud,
it's
yeah.
gonna be. You know, the cloud. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm beating that woman ass with no remorse. I ain't gonna watch my son get assaulted by a grown ass woman. But you know, that's the kind of world we live in. And the way I see that is that woman feels safe assaulting a black child because she
Tamir
knows
Rice?
if yeah, it literally
Oh,
is a Tamir Rice
technically
situation.
Trayvon Martin, wasn't he 16?
Yes, he was a child
Isn't
that
that crazy?
yeah, he was followed home
He
and
was
he beat
fucking
George
man,
Zimmerman's ass for, you know, following him and like questioning him and assaulting him, and then George Zimmerman got his ass beat and then killed him.
and it was
He
always.
shot him,
I think it
and
was a
people were
Quilio line where they said or was it? It was Nino. Nino said it. I can't hear you. He's like, I can't hear you. That's Trayvon's
mm,
side of the story, and I was like, oof. But that's
yeah,
also that like the AC alone off the Book of Human Language, just it's just that phrase that dead man tells no lies, which
yep.
also implies that he's dead.
That's
Anything
walls and
Zimmerman says
windows.
technically can be a lie because you don't
Yep.
know the dead man story. And that was one of those I was like, oh, fuck, that is really clever. That phrase setting,
Yeah,
kind of. I
yeah,
was like,
walls and
damn.
windows. That's my favorite song
Yeah,
off that
shout out.
album.
Yeah, that phrase
Uh, but
I really like.
but you know the way I see that whole situation where she's assaulting a child because that child's trying to defend himself and the dad of that child is trying to defend his son from her kid and she assaults the kid for trying to defend himself. I see that as she knows the police state's gonna have her back no matter what. So she's like, yes, I can kick
It
the
was a
shit out of
Karen?
this little. Oh, it was just, you know, big Karen vibes. You know, it is literally that. It's that I can do whatever I want because I know if this person tries to defend his son, a cop will come through and kill him and probably kill his son for it, you know?
Yeah.
So anyone who
It's crazy.
jumps to defend the police state, who says, you know, the protests are actually riots and that the protests have to stop, you know, the Zeeks of the world, for lack of a better word, you know, At least we can shit on C-Plan for not wanting to go to one of the
Yo,
biggest
I'm going to
sites.
one, by the way. He a
But
pussy.
yeah,
I'm
you
going to
are,
one.
you
I'm
are,
gonna make sure,
yeah,
just 'cause the one up C plant. You know,
yeah,
what is it? Vengeance or spite is more valuable than anything as a motivator. That is
yeah,
Zack City's in on gas.
bro.
Like nothing
I
gets me
definitely
sold.
believe that. Do if nothing, do it out of spite.
Spite and somebody else putting up money showing that they're serious about it makes me go, all right,
Mm,
fuck it, I'm definitely down. Let's go do this. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it semi big. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy, but I'm gonna even try to stream on Zach's phone. Apparently, might be a possibility. Maybe due to quality,
yeah,
but it'll be something. I'm gonna try a bunch of shit. Like I said, I'll try to give a speech, a quick speech.
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck to do because I could do it so many different angles, but they all feel out of
Just
place. It's a talkathon. I can't do nothing too aggressive, but I kind of want to do something. I
no,
gotta do something.
I think you can go pretty aggressive. Try and capture their hearts. Get get
Man,
get a
I
rise
could
out
go
of
like
them,
a
so to
poor,
speak.
softer man's Malcolm X out there, bro. I could say some good shit.
You
Uh,
can say
I
some
feel
shit
like
that's gonna be. This is gonna be like, hey, you know that back in like what was
I
it,
might do some
2015,
Fred
when it was like,
Hampton
make
shit.
that face at them, dog. Like, talk that shit, dog.
I think I do some
You
Fred
can.
Hampton shit where I just say like I be passionate, but also like yo, if we gotta unite, we can do this. Like, and then but I soften them up though with some other shit before that. I don't know. I just
I
think like
think
I
the
think Martin or yeah, I think Martin and Fred Hampton were right as fuck. But I like Fred Hampton's style though. I like the Panther style. They was a lot
I,
smarter. I really like that.
speaking of like the Martin and the Fred Hampton and the Malcolm X dynamic, I remember when we first met, you were more of like the Malcolm X type, and I was the
Whoa.
Martin Luther
I
King
don't know, but
Jr. type.
yeah, but I was
But
psycho,
then
man. I was
I
unhinged.
know, I know. Like we both changed over time, as people do, over like the years we've been
No, I got
friends.
into
But
philosophy.
but I like how like our dynamic has switched. I'm definitely more like the Malcolm X, like Black Panther, like yo, arm yourselves, get ready for anything, stay strapped, get clapped type of side, of things. Being like, we gotta do this by ourselves because no one else is gonna help us. It's shown that no one
That's
else
the easy
will
route. That's
have.
the problem.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Looks like feds have showed up in Portland and people are starting to shout "fuck 12."
Alright, I'm switching over. Um, well, I mean that's easy though. I don't.
So I
It's
definitely
so
see the
complicated.
benefits to both sides. I think
I
uh
just see like I just think you gotta pull. I want to be like this generation's George Washington. There's gotta be some way to fucking unite everybody against the police state. Uh,
if you say you
that's
want to
what
be this generation's George Washington,
against the
you
British.
gotta know that violence is
Yeah,
how
well,
that
there's no
happens.
way, there's never been a peaceful coup that I'm aware of. Because technically it wouldn't be a revolution. It technically could be a coup, status coup. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Where we
based
just
off
kick
what
them
me and you
out. We
both,
kick every single
based off,
motherfucker out. Like literally, just you lock the
ba-
doors and you're done.
uh, based off what you and me both know, there's definitely enough military members who are on the side of the people
That's
who
why,
could
yeah. Hey, you know my
theoretically
stance on
stage a
them. That's the
coup.
special forces.
Yeah,
That's the
there,
SS for the good guys. That's
there, there's definitely uh, enough rebel sympathizers. I'm gonna say inside the
no. I just think
empire.
it's just common interest at the end of the day.
It, it is because the way I see it as a rebel sympathizer in the, or I basically I'm borderline a rebel against the feds, in the government is I know I'm not gonna be in the military forever, and I know the feds ain't gonna look after me once I'm not doing their bidding, and I believe most members of the military know that. And definitely, most members of the military, their biggest thing is they want to stop deploying to a fucking desert. You know, they are tired of being in the graveyard of empires. I think a
Even if anything
majority of the
changes.
military at this point is like, yes, this is all bullshit, and they don't want to be there. My Where the issue comes is like, oh, if everybody at the the grunt level, so to speak, doesn't want to be here, why are we still there? And this speaks just to the culture of war in the military. Is that if you speak up and be like, "Yo, I don't like this war," congratulations, there's a target on your back. And I'm not saying like they're gonna kill you, but they're gonna do everything they can to kick you out because they don't want you vocalizing your grievances. This is something that I had to bring up because recently in the U.S. Air Force, the from the top, some guy sent down a survey to basically kind of like pull racism in the Air Force. This is just strictly the Air Force. I don't know if it came out to other service members or anything like that. But I remember one of the things I said was and I was talking to one of my guys on shift. He's like a Mexican he's like white Mexican Native American. But he is part of some tribe. I can't remember the tribe's name though. They're based out of California. Uh, but one of the things I had to talk to him about was how I feel like whenever I speak up about an issue, I feel punished and unheard for it. And he didn't understand it. And I think, that is that problem where it's like, oh, it's a race issue becomes a bigger problem. It's like, yo, the men you send to die don't even want to die in this war, or the men you send to kill don't want to kill in this bullshit war.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that I would say, fuck, at least from an enlisted side, I don't know about officers. They get paid a lot more than I fucking do. But on the enlisted side, I would say probably 50+% of most enlisted members do not believe in any war that we're in right now. And that is a significant number when you think about it. If half your if half your squad don't want to do something, guess what? You don't do it. Aaron, if you want to play Rainbow, but I was like, no. Guess we're like I want to play something else, like some other thing. More than likely we're probably gonna do this other thing, or like we're just not gonna do like we gotta figure out something else to do. The whole metric is 3% of the population what it takes to create a political change. So if you got 50% of your dudes not wanting to do something, I think it should be a bigger issue. But I think that what's happening is once you're in, this is also like what I feel like what it is to be rich. Like once you're in for a certain amount of time, you just accept it. Like once you make a certain amount of money, you start to switch how your brain thinks. You know?
I got removed from the game after carrying.
I got like 7 things. Yo, here, real quick.
Go ahead. Talk that shit.
Air Force to survey airmen on race from June 23rd from Air Force Times. Sounds like a sketchy website. But yeah, they talked. There's an article about that. What you were talking about. But it doesn't say the results. But I'm not looking into that anymore. I'm bored. I'm busy.
In the beginning of the survey, they said the results were anonymous. I thought that meant that they were just like they're gonna take these results and throw them away. That's how I felt. Because they were like, don't mention names, don't.
You should have known that. Did you write it with pencil or pen?
I wrote it on a computer.
Okay, never mind then. That should have. Well, computers are trackable, but that should. Yeah, that was gonna say. Writing style would give you away, but.
Yeah.
So typing.
No, I'm
structures.
Hey, I don't care if it gets me. This is some I've been vocal about in my shop, and it literally put a target on my back. Whenever I was getting talked to about it, I wanted to switch teams, like sections. In my shop, I was like, I don't want to be a part of this section because I feel like I'm getting treated unfairly, and I'm seen as that angry black man now. That I can't be reasoned with, and then I'm angry for no reason.
I can't believe people think. I think you're making it up, but
dude, it's hilarious that you think I'm making up because most people in my shop
I
think
told
I'm
you
making
the
this
joke
shit
always
up.
was. I think he was the whitest guy in a group, even with Dylan and Corey time.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm like, me and Corey good. Dylan a little iffy,
shit.
but Bruce definitely.
Despite the fact that I am actually from the hood, I have been shot at. I have been
I had a gun pointed at me.
With
You ain't that
gangs
tough.
and drugs and shit. But because of the fact that I like anime and all this different kind of shit,
No, you soft
I'm
spoken.
Yeah, I'm a soft-spoken
So I don't know
dude.
how
Like, I
these
just
people think you whatever. You must be
yeah,
you
but
must be intimidatingly built or something, man. Apparently you're working out.
I've been told I have been
Summertime
told
fine.
that yeah, summertime
It
finance
paid
worked.
off.
I have definitely been told that I'm kind of built like I've been training for battle, so to speak. Like one
ISO?
dude,
The ISO regiment.
yeah, one dude I was talking
I need to
to
do that.
said, cause my step grandfather, Mr. Johnson, God rest his soul. He's dead now. Rest in peace. He told me that whenever he was a PJ, which is like a pararescue. He was a warrior and a medic. He would jump out of fucking planes, parachute down, save someone's life, and extract them. That's what he did. He told me that I could. He was special forces essentially. He told me that he thought I could do that just because of how I'm built. He's like, you're built different, you know. And I have
Oh,
been
that's
told that
racist.
while I'm not as like I'm black, but like he's like mentally and physically you can handle it. It was what he was getting at, and he thinks that I would be good at shit like that. But I disagreed, and I'm just a mechanic now. But
Ah,
yeah,
that's what they were in the. That. That's. Let me find the meme.
but yeah, I've been told that's like people think I should be,
Liberty Boys.
doing like special forces. Cause I am like one of the most if
I never
not the
expected.
most athletic. I'm the most athletic guy in the shop. I'm one
That
of
ain't even a
them.
high bar to set.
It's not a high bar. All these dudes fat as fuck with broken ass backs and lazy as shit.
They blew that back.
So I don't think I'm that intimidatingly built, but I think it literally is like
Oh, Robert Evans is there.
I don't. Yeah, he is. I just saw him
Their
pop up.
body in preparation.
I don't know how I'm like this feared member in the shop. We got some new people, and I'm guessing some people have been talking about me when I haven't been on shift. Cause this one white girl, don't even know her name. She came in like 2 weeks ago. She looks at me, and I see the fear in her eyes, and it doesn't help that I'm like, bro, what the fuck you staring at?
You hit him with the Ricky. You hit him with the J Rock. Well, look, I got some candy in my eyes for you. I ain't got no candy.
So I don't know if maybe over the years I become less soft spoken and I have been more vocal about, you know, how I feel and how I think about people. But that is hilarious that I think I'm not, you know, I don't think I'm a threat. I don't think I'm dangerous. I don't even consider myself hood. You know,
Yeah, you wish you
because
would.
I think hood is a mindset. Just because I grew up in the hood slash ghettos, for a good period of my life, I don't identify as that. I feel like, I got a different mindset than that. But to these dudes, hell no. I am like some menace to society. You know, you would think, I step, you hear that shit echo everywhere I go. I speak, the walls shake. That's how these dudes kind of treat me, and I'm told that I'm kind of feared because they don't know what I'm going to do next. Like they think I'm some powder keg ready to explode. When in reality, I just want people to not fear me and to not treat me like I'm subhuman. To not view me as just an angry black man.
They've got their weapons pointed directly at these women's backs. That man has a gun.
This shit is
Feds
insane.
popping up all over in Portland, by the
Robert
way.
Evans is killing
That
me.
man has a gun pointed directly at that woman's back. That man has a weapon pointed
Do you think
directly
all
at
these
this woman's
soccer
back.
moms came out to just be like, hey, cops don't, like, to see if the cops have any ounce of sympathy?
That's what we're finding out right now. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean,
So there
yeah,
you
because
have it,
it's
the
like,
federal agents.
because I think you're right.
This is
The
fucking-
yellow is supposed to identify the
This is
moms, the
insane.
elderly.
They want to
It's like,
riot, but they can't because of the moms are there.
Yeah, they don't want to shoot
This is
someone's mom.
insane. This is insane. It's happening. What the fuck? They don't know what to do.
These moms got some balls.
That's why they're moms, because they have balls. Duh.
Them lady nuts. Look
Yeah,
at
they're not
this
scared.
one
I
Robert
told
Evans
you.
holding up the fist.
I told you. It's just, listen to me. It's just plights of populations women, like, I can give you. I read you the chapter, didn't I, from the woman suffrage from the American philosopher. Like, women were badasses. They're just as badass as men. They've just been suppressed, like
I
minorities.
I
Like,
definitely believe that.
why you
'Cause
think like it was so Tulsi Gabbard was so close to being this generation's JFK? You have no fucking idea, bro. So
no, I
close.
do have an idea about
She was
Tulsi
so
Gabbard. Remember,
close.
I was hurt. I was mad hurt when Tulsi endorsed Biden.
Every time I scroll through Twitter and see a picture of her, I'll be like, God damn! And you a politician? It's like, nah. But it'd be insane. Like, so close. But she doesn't want to. She could easily run third party and be better than, and team up with Jesse Ventura and give it a real shot. Never. Because Jesse would only want to be president for 4 years and let Tulsi be there. Boom. But, you know,
I mean, we
let
could
her
easily
handle
get
help on the foreign policy issues.
yeah.
Hopefully.
If Bernie wasn't such a pussy and a sellout, you could throw his hat in that ring too. You know, just all of them go third party.
Pussy.
Yeah, but yeah, Bernie's a fucking
It should be
sellout.
the president we need for the times, Jesse. It's crazy how true it is. I don't know what the fuck they do with VP though. But he doesn't seem like he wants to run. I guess he's not going to do it. And so we're like have nobody, which also means the protests shouldn't die down because
I think he doesn't want to run simply because he knows he'll probably get assassinated and it'll be for nothing.
nah, he a patriot. He ain't scared of that. It's that healthcare
Yeah.
thing. He needs the healthcare. If he starts running, he loses healthcare, and his wife, who's got some type of illness, needs it. So he can't do it, supposedly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. They just don't want to fuck up their lifestyle and risk her health. And from what I understand, that's what I've heard. And he is kind of older, so I mean, it ain't like his wife would be also older. So I haven't looked into it, but that's what he's always said, and he's been a man. He's always been a man of his word. That's the other thing. That's why Jesse's perfect. He's a man of his word. They're retreating, by the way. So the moms stopped them from rioting this time. This is
Gotta go
fucking
back in their bunker.
crazy. They're gonna
They
turn the
they
moms
gotta
into radicals.
I mean, cause you know how it is. You know, I wonder how many of these moms saw these young men out there getting arrested and brutalized and like, yo, that could be my son. You know.
Well, yeah, that was the Tamir and the Trayvon picture, apparently, but it's really the Tamir one. Like, it's shit like
so-
that one. I told you when I saw that dude in Salt Lake, he was like a Latino dude, Hispanic type of color. Like when he had his headphones in and he went to take his phone out of his pocket and the cop shot him for that. I was like, you can't not see you when you're a headphones guy. Just like you can't see you when you're a kid and you see another kid get hurt or attacked or some other shit. Like unless you're a dumbass. And so
That's why I said that you know, the Elijah McClain thing.
yeah, that
how-
one.
how
No, don't
he
even.
was
That
treated.
one's fucking.
That shit breaks my heart because for some reason I can't explain it, and I'll try to after this statement. But I see a lot of myself in Elijah McClain. You know, I feel like me right now. You know, I've had so much shit happen to me that I view the world in a very negative light, and I'm not as nice and as helpful and as, you know, wholesome as I could be. You know, I'm a very vulgar person now. You know, and all this type of shit. I'm definitely more of a tough love than a soft love kind of guy now. But when I see how Elijah McClain was, I'd be like, yo, that's how I wanted to be. You know, I remember when I wanted to play violin, but my parents couldn't afford it. You know, I liked whenever I went to shelters and I would help walk the dogs so they wouldn't be inside a cage all day. And, you know, we got Elijah McClain here going to play violin for all the cats and everything. You know, I see him and I think this is me if so much fucked up shit wouldn't have happened and he still got killed. You know, I see him as a better person than me and he still was killed for it.
And I've been out most of those nights.
You know, he was killed because he was anemic and he went to go get his fucking brother some iced tea from the gas station. So like that shit breaks my heart and I can't stand seeing pictures of him and be like, you know, this guy's dead. He was killed. He was murdered. It ain't like he lived a long,
And
happy life. It
this
was cut
weekend,
short
since,
because some
President Trump has
assholes
made Portland the
are
focus of
trained
his
to kill
re-election campaign, and
at
since
a
the
drop
feds
of a
have
hat.
started abducting people and abused,
To your
shot
point,
Donovan Labella in the
we
head,
saw that
people
graphic
have been
of
coming back
things
out.
that were
Numbers
mistaken
that
for
are used to
guns,
how things were at the
pins,
very
wallets,
start of the
phones,
uprising.
shit everybody
And it
has
hasn't
on
just
them.
been numbers. At the beginning
And
we had numbers, but
3
no
days ago,
strategy, really, no understanding of what to do.
I saw a
So to the
video
extent those
of a
numbers were
man.
wasted, we're seeing
Oh my gosh, it's on my Twitter somewhere. I know I retweeted it,
a group of 500 to
most
700
likely.
activists marched
But
onto my precinct, showed
he
up,
the cop
cops
says,
started
"Hey,
getting
are you
ready to
armed?
square up and
Like, do you have a
disperse, and then
gun?"
the crowd ripped
And the guy
and
says,
marched to
"Yes,
the
I have a
Portland
gun.
Police
It's registered in my
Association
name."
headquarters.
Cop just
The
pulls out
Portland
his gun
Union
and shoots him.
headquarters. And they stole a march
A
on the
couple
cops
times,
because
and it's
when they
like,
arrived,
what
there
do you
was
do
no
in this
police
society?
defending the Portland
What do you
Union
do?
headquarters, which had been the
I
site
was
of a couple of
telling my
really
wife,
ugly police
if I get
riots in
pulled
the
over and
past.
I have a gun in
So
my
the
car,
crowd broke in, lit the
I
building
looked at
on
the laws
fire,
in
and
Oklahoma.
then pretty
It is
successfully
$100
dispersed through
fine
the
if you lie
neighborhoods.
to a cop
And it
about
was one
having
of
a
those
gun in
things
the
where,
car
like,
and they
as
find
people were
out.
running through these
I told her
neighborhoods,
I'd
folks
eat the
were,
$100
like,
fine,
offering
and I'm
them
not telling
places
this
to,
dude I
like,
have a gun
hide
in
in
my
their
car because
lawns
I
and
would
stuff,
live
taking
longer
them in.
if I
People were
said
cheering
no.
from their decks at the crowd. Like, there was this enormous support
Yo, they had a
for
Boston
everybody
Tea
who
Party in
couldn't
Portland. Holy
themselves go
shit.
fight the cops, but
Hell
would, like,
yeah.
absolutely go fight the cops. Portland's
It
doing pretty
happened.
good, y'all.
It happened.
Yeah.
I think the revolution
Yeah,
might actually be
I'm
happening.
hearing Robert Evans saying how they set the neighborhood on
And
fire.
people
then
were
dipped.
cheering. I literally tweeted
Yeah.
this out days ago. Like, this is the same shit. But they did it modernized. Like, this fucking Boston, they burned up fucking shit. Like, oh man.
Pieces of it were taken down a bit earlier.
Do you think the cops in their little Portland bunker, their pig pen, as I'm gonna call it, do you think they're trying to strategize or have like a moral talk about where they're willing to shoot some moms?
I don't know. Where's a hacker to find out? Fake ass hacker.
And yeah.
Like, motherfuckers will hack your account or dox you before they'll hack the feds and wiretap them. Yeah, exactly. Y'all fake, y'all amateur hackers.
I've been knocked off Rainbow more than the Fed's been even looked into by hackers.
Yeah. Anonymous got some police files from like a month and a half, I think it was, or something, which was pretty good. But remember, that's what they did. Like, that was their biggest shit. Like, we got you police files to show that they're spying on using social media and probably some other shit. But that that was what they did. Like,
we need some watchdogs, dude. Some DedSec type guys. It's like I'm gonna break into their server room to steal a server and then plant, a worm server. So I'm gonna take this server, get all the info off of it, have my own server in here taking files as like they keep feeding it information.
Waiting for folks to really fuck with the fence enough. I think that they can justify to themselves. Yeah, they were.
Do you think the cops are thrown by the peace sign? Like they're like, oh, that's a hate symbol.
I think people want to the fence up because the fence is in between them and the walls of a federal courthouse that they'd really like to spray paint.
The people don't want to go to City Hall; they want to stay here.
With the courthouse quite a lot, graffitiing it and drop kicking the doors, and the fence is preventing them from this.
Robert Evans is saying they're waiting for a reason. They're waiting for a reason to start opening fire. As we've seen, they don't really need a reason.
Munitions would make people pull back for a while.
Yeah, that's
but
what they tried to do.
And remarch, and that's part of why this has lasted.
I mean, as in Portland, they can have the fucking oppression 1984 voice come over the intercom and just be like, "This area is now dedicated as a riot zone." Disperse
Power.
Facebook. Yeah, disperse or face police force.
To define an event with lies. It seems like 1984. Anyways, when people be like confused with the police station and shit, just hit them with the like Orwell knew about this back in 1949.
So we'll see, if people really fuck with the fence, they haven't started yet.
Let's see if we can find a good part.
But at some point, one presumes they will. And then, we've got a big crowd here. That's going to
Julia
be
said I love you
interesting.
too. I was like, oh, man. Here's this one. It says, this is the diary one. If there is hope, he had written in the diary. It lies in the paroles. Now, let's skip it. Let's read something from the later part.
That's their sound system. people do throw projectiles in self-defense. I would say 1,000 to 2,000 people. You know, maybe a little closer to 2, but it's kind of hard for me to tell right now. It's the biggest crowd we've had in a very long time here.
Oh, they have an LRAD
Part
there.
3.
Chanting who streets, our streets.
You know what the LRAD is?
Squeaky toys.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Alright,
played
alright.
Battlefield. Said Smith yelled a voice from the telescreen. 6079. Smith W. Hands out of your pockets in the cells. He sat still again, his hands crossed on his knees. Before being brought here, he had been taken to another place which must have been an ordinary prison or a temporary lockup used by the patrols. He did not know how long he had been there, some hours at any rate. With no clocks and no daylight, it was hard to gauge the time. Oh, hang on, let me find some other shit. Here's one. The majority of them were common criminals. They're squeezing those pigs, by the way, shut up. But there was a few political prisoners among them. He had cupped by fear and pain in his belly to take much interest in his surroundings, but still noticing the astonishing difference in demeanor between the party prisoners and the others. The party prisoners were always silent and terrified, but the ordinary criminals seemed to care nothing for anybody. They yelled insults at the guards, fought back fiercely when their belongings were impounded, wrote obscene words on the floor, ate smuggled food which they had produced from mysterious hiding places in their clothes, and even shouted down the telescreen when it tried to restore order. They hate them. That's how you protest. Good for them. They're squeaking those squeaky toys like motherfuckers.
One of them pig toys.
See, they're just talking shit so they piss them off to fuck with the fam. It's just reverse psychology. It's really lame, by the way, that they do that. It's really childish.
The guys with guns and the guys in armor and guns are like, yeah, I bet you won't do nothing to that fence, little bitch. To the people holding up peace signs.
I mean, my feeling as a Portlander is that if you're not in Portland and you want to help, there's things you can be doing.
This part, it might be 2 or 3 hours that they had brought him. The dull pain in his belly never went away, but sometimes it grew better and sometimes worse, and his thoughts expanded or contracted accordingly. When it grew worse, he thought only of the pain itself and the desire for food. When it grew better, panic took hold of him. There were moments when he foresaw the things that would happen to him, such actuality that his heart galloped and his breath stopped. He felt the smack. I can't read this shit, but yeah, it gets bad.
Sounds bad.
Orwell's a good writer. There's this one. There had been times when cautiousness, even the sort of cautiousness that one has in sleep, had stopped dead and started again after a blink interval. But whether the intervals were of days or weeks or only seconds, there was no way of knowing. With that first blow on the elbow, that nightmare had started. Later, he was to realize that all that then happened was merely preliminary, a routine interrogation to which nearly all prisoners were subjected. There was a long range of crimes, espionage, sabotage, and the like, to which everyone had to confess as a matter of course. The confession was a formality, though the torture was real. How many times he had been beaten, how long the beatings had continued, he could not remember. Always there was 5 or 6 men in black uniforms at him simultaneously. There's your 4-in-1 shit. Sometimes it's fists. Sometimes it was trenchons. Sometimes it was steel rods. Sometimes it was boots. He licked that boot. There was always times when he rolled about the floor as shameless as an animal. Let me find the bootlicking part.
Law enforcement. And Portland made the choice to keep fighting law enforcement.
Here's this one. He was strapped into a chair surrounded by dials under dazzling lights. A man in a white coat was reading the dials. There was a tramp of heavy boots outside. The door clanged open. The waxen-faced officer marched in, followed by 2 guards. Quote, "Room 101," said the officer.
The thing to
He said,
see
"Oh."
is whether or not the police, it was basically whether or not the feds have the kind of willpower to wait to do violence until the crowd disperses. So either the feds do violence very soon on a crowd that's very large, and we have a real interesting night, or the feds kind of wait in the hopes that people get bored and that they can then disperse through
Oh,
violence among smaller crowds.
the
I
intercom
don't know
voice
what's
is now
gonna happen.
saying, "Don't touch the
There are some
fence."
actions the crowd could take that
Provoking.
would probably guarantee an immediate federal response while the crowd is large. Trying to take down the fence would be one of those actions. Last night, a
They called
crowd
the torture
lit
area
before
in the
the police
Ministry
union
of
building on
Laws, by the
fire,
way.
so people are kind
Really?
of
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
aggressive and
Orwell. It's all
willing
dumb
to
on. Yeah, you gotta.
damage
You gotta read this
police
shit.
and
I
federal
sent you the
property.
website,
They have been
man.
previously,
I know.
I'm reading
in a
like
meaningful
5
way,
books
so I
right
don't know
now,
if
man.
that's
How
gonna
many books
happen.
you
I really
reading?
can't tell you. I
I
wouldn't
guess
be
just.
surprised if this goes
I'm
on for hours.
no, I'm not
until we
reading
come
any
out
like
and eventually the
meaningful
crowd
books. I'm
dwindles
reading like a
down
lot
to
of
200 people, and then
manga
they,
type
beat the
shit,
shit out of people and do some arrests.
but not like actual books.
And take down the fence and destroy the building. And I wouldn't be surprised. And gas everywhere. If people take down the fence, yeah, they'll come out.
Here, hold on. How many? I mean,
If people
1,
come out
2,
and take down the fence,
3.
they'll do it.
Here you can metaphor this one.
I'm reading like 10 to 12 fucking mangas
Man,
right
that's
now.
mangas. This shit ain't factual. That shit.
Yeah, I
pleasure.
know it's but yeah, it's just
propaganda.
pleasure. It's just pleasure reading.
Bunch of fan fiction. He said, Winston asked O'Brien, "Does Big Brother exist?" And O'Brien responded, "Of course he exists. The party exists. Big Brother is the embodiment of the party." Uh, Does he exist in the same way as I exist? O'Brien says, "No, you do not exist." God.
Oh shit.
Once again, the sense of helplessness assailed him. He knew he could imagine the arguments which proved his own non-existence, but they were nonsense. They were only a play on words. Oh.
On Twitter was that a crowd lit the Portland Police Union on fire. So I don't think it's just a fence. When I did my interview for the New York Times, I made a point of noting that it's the main fight is with the Portland police.
Robert Evans just brought it up, with the people wearing yellow. It's like a lot of old white people know that if they get shot, it looks bad for the looks worse for the feds.
True.
So we will see what happens.
I mean, I'm reading for the Bible. It's like hell almost involved. The police state Bible.
Sometimes it happens back. Sometimes it happens back. It's not your job to police people. Yeah, you don't need to yell at your
Yeah, this is why.
So when you're yelling in our face about doing bad,
Robert Evans is saying the crowd's big enough to just straight out confront the feds.
What does that mean?
I think it means wait for the I'm reloading. And they're like, get him.
Oh, that's a France shit.
stop taking the spotlight. Stop taking the soapbox. It's not about you either.
I'm reloading. Get him. He's out of bullets.
Federal Protective Service. Wait, they're the FPS, bro. They're the shooters.
First-person shooters?
Yes. Wow. That's funny as fuck. They dancing. The yellow people are dancing.
Yeah, I seen
And
that.
Eric Greatwood came, that one veteran dude for Black Lives Matter. Sign guy. That guy's dope.
Middle-aged people for the first time. This crowd isn't just the people who've been fighting in the streets for months now.
I told you this is the backup unit. The second wave is coming in.
JTF?
Yo, you ever hear the band Rogue Wave?
No.
So A$AP Rock did a song called Rogue Wave. Guess what? Rogue Wave did a song called. Yeah. So
They did
now
a song called what?
They did one called A$AP Rock. This is
Oh,
band.
wow.
Did a song called A$AP Rock, and because A$AP Rock months ago did one called Rogue Wave. So I checked that out, and that shit was dope. I was like, this is so funny.
Hmm.
I was like, that's a cool shout out to each other. I just didn't. I thought Rogue Wave was just a wave of. I just thought it was Rogue Wave. Turns out there was a band called that
Here, in
too.
terms of people making it
Uh,
about themselves, is that since
oh,
Portland's
it was
become a
dope.
big story finally,
It's one for the good guys.
a lot of people are flooding in, kind of trying to make it about them. So mostly it's been positive. You know, you get a lot of reinforcements, and the movement feels reinvigorated. But there are these people who, again, try to like make it about their own bullshit. When really, this has been like this is a fucking movement of people who have been getting the shit beat out of them for 50 something days,
Some Orwellian
and
shit.
have finally have some momentum behind them again.
I'm literally reading this shit.
Ground level news, bottom left. Fascist lives don't matter.
And we are at this point where people have got to make a decision at some point, right? Whether or not they're going to kind of hang around until the crowd is small enough that the feds can disperse it easily, or whether or not they're going to, you know, make the situation get spicy. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm just now noticing this, but on you can see it on Teebs Gaming.
Yeah.
It's on the left side of the door. It says "fuck your peace," and I love that because you know that's how when people say, "Oh, these protests should be more peaceful," when what they mean by that is these protests shouldn't exist. You know. So,
You know, this building is not
because a protest is peaceful by definition.
at a certain point you have to decide.
Or actually, you know what? Maybe it's, let me use the literal definition. Maybe I'll get proven wrong right here. We'll see.
And then moving on, or does the crowd have any other goals? Right. That's the question.
All right, protest. A statement or action expressing disapproval of or objecting to sanction, to something. And number 2 says it is a law declaration, typically by a notary public, that a bill has been presented and payment or acceptance is refused, or the verb expressing an objection to what someone has said or done. And 2, yeah, to declare something firmly and empathetically in the face, stated or implied doubt, or in response to an accusation. None of that says like, oh, they have to be destroying shit, and that's a protest. It's like, no, a protest is peaceful by definition. It is just you stating that you don't agree. The federal government paid for that fence. Yes, they did.
Lined up in front of them, and they ran back inside with their guns, and that's kind of been the situation. So
Yo, is that Riot Ribs on Black Zebra products?
I guess so.
I
I
don't know.
can't.
They've been feeding. It's been showing up my feed a shit ton. They've been getting arrested too. But
I was
they've been
about to
feeding the shit out of people, bro.
I was about to say.
People donated to them so much, they said to donate somewhere else. Bro, you thought the Bernie supporters supported the fuck out of Bernie? Apparently, the people are supporting the absolute fuck out of these people.
The people support the people. Who knew? But okay, so speaking, I was about to mention this. So as I've seen throughout these cameras in Portland, I've seen like the free clothes. You know, you can see these guys cooking and everything. I'm wondering if we're about to see another Chop / Chaz type deal appear.
Not really. They don't want that to happen.
They don't want that.
They tried multiple places, but they tried in Louisville, and that didn't work. They tried in Chop, that didn't work. They tried it once or twice in Portland, that didn't work. No, there's because there's somewhere else. Denver, I don't know if they have one or not. They were doing something though. They had a bunch of tents days ago though. That was the last time I saw it. I don't know.
that's pretty neat.
I mean, it's not really the most logical thing after seeing what happened in Chop. You basically have to make your own fucking country inside of your country, and that's technically illegal for good reason. So it's complicated. I don't know. No, I said
Well,
you
I,
kick
thought- I thought
everybody
the
out of your
whole.
city and take your city over. That's different. Now that's a military action, which is in a roundabout way a protest action. So that's I would prefer that. That's more logical. That's like nearly
Isn't
impossible.
that essentially what Chop happened? They weren't
No, they
act,
just
they
took
weren't
over an
taking
area.
taxes.
They didn't take over the
Yeah.
entire city. Like you'd have to take
True,
over the
true.
entire city and then govern yourselves until you literally would just have to do 1776 type shit. You'd have to say, no, we're governing ourselves. Fuck you and your fake diplomats, essentially. Exile them. I think that could become a thing again. That type of thing. Like, no, you're out the city. You fucking sold us out for too long. All the mayors,
Banish,
all of them.
banish,
Yeah,
banish them like you the Fire Lord type
yeah.
shit.
yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking about shit like that. The take no prisoners or the exile path. Both are entertaining.
Right? Look at these guys. They're bigger than the earlier ones, so they wouldn't be easy for people to knock over. But there's more than enough people to do that if they wanted to. The mob's now chanting Black Lives Matter. Interesting evening, everybody. They're definitely outnumbered now, for sure.
And they getting their grill on.
Hell yeah, man.
But they don't seem to want to
They trying to feed an underfunded rebellion.
briefly, but it seems like they got scared back
Have to.
inside. The economy breakfast knows their life too. He's been shown on a lot before. I'm sure there are. You know, Portland's had a decent number of major media reporters in it over the last couple of days, people who parachuted in. But also, what's much nicer is a lot of local Portland
And
reporters.
feds keep peeking out, but like, yeah, they're still there.
That Fed has a phone up. Yeah, that Fed has a phone up, and he's recording what's happening. And I think he's doing that as part of like what will soon be a video justification for the violence. He's getting lasers shown at him.
They fucking hate lasers.
Yeah,
I'm about tapped out. I'm about to stop the stream. Got
Got
like 2 minutes and then I gotta restart
would
this
be
shit.
why
About
you
to
do
go down,
this.
it looks like.
That would be why you do this.
Cat backpack. What do you
Yeah,
think
you
of
can
that?
see this Fed recording with his phone.
A what?
People
Costello?
shining lasers at him. But he's recording the
Bottom
crowd,
right.
it looks like.
You see that shit?
Yeah, he's
See, all I see right now is someone holding a peace sign and
That
some
back-
dude in like a
It's
red.
too late now. They switched.
There's some dude in a red bandana fucking clapping.
Is that
really interesting
what's
here.
wrong with that?
Yeah, we
Nothing,
might
I'm
be
just
going
saying,
to
that's all I
the
see.
cool zone here.
Cool zone.
People now hitting the fence a little bit.
Uh oh, this shit. But alright, I'm about to stop. This shit about to go down. I'll be back.